Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder. It's wonderful having you with us. Teams mobilized to head out once the all-clear has been given for the Abacos, where Hurricane Durian lashed untold fury on communities there, flattening homes, ripping structures, uprooting trees and poles, overturning vehicles, and severe flooding. With the story, we turn now to a report from our Lissy Bastian.
Hurricane Durian causing catastrophic damage over in Abaco. Member of Parliament for that area, Durian Henfield, disclosing during a press briefing earlier today that there has been major damage along the front strip of the island from Marsh Harbour to Dundas Town and Murphytown.
We're uncertain of what's going on in Chesapeake at the moment. We have been informed that Cooperstown was holding quite well. That's all that we know at the moment. We're about, as soon as this wind subsides a bit more, the wind and the rain, we will go out and have a cursory look. All of our shelters were mainly compromised, and so in the lull that we had for 2.5 hours or so, and we were in the eye, people were able to come to the shelter and find sanctuary and safety. People seem to have been coming from all 4 angles toward this place. We also have people sheltered in the clinic in Marsh Harbour. Public clinic there is packed to capacity, as I understand it.
Now, while there have been reports of casualties on the island, Minister Henfield says those have not yet been confirmed. He did, however, issue this warning.
We want to say to the citizens here in Abaco who are in the impacted area, it is not safe to go outdoors. Power lines are down, lamp poles are down, trees are across the street. It is very dangerous to be outdoors if you don't have to be outdoors. As soon as the weather permits, our first responders will go to those areas where we had reports from individuals who were in distress.
Abaco's government complex was turned into a makeshift shelter. Reporting for JCN News, I'm Lissy Bastian.
Meantime, our Leah Cooper caught up with State Minister for Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson, earlier today. Here's what he shared with us.
Grand Bahama contending with its own hurricane challenges. Minister of State for Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson, telling us he's gotten calls of people being trapped in their homes. At last report, Agriculture and Marine Resources Minister Michael Pintard was battling at least 20 feet of water inside his South Bahama home. A video posted on social media shows the ground floor of the minister's 2-story home completely flooded with the waves hitting his kitchen window. According to Minister Pintard's assessment, his neighbors are in a far worse situation. Minister Thompson telling us the weather's preventing rescue teams from providing any assistance at this time.
There's parts of the island that are completely cut off. We have severe flooding over the bridge area. We have severe flooding in Lady Lake, Freeport Ridge, Derby, Sunset, Regency Park.
Minister Thompson says a number of facilities have also been compromised.
To go and rescue the children from the children's home and take them to shelters. We have one shelter that is partially compromised, and so we are organized to transportation to move those persons out. So we are in the middle of it. The EOC is active, and the EOC is a buzz. We are collecting all those information and funneling them down to the police. The police and defense force are represented here, and they are doing what they can to get to who they can.
Grand Bahama residents are encouraged to remain patient and get to the highest point in their homes. Reporting for JCN News, I'm Leah Cooper.
Now, while much of Durian's wrath has been directed towards Abaco and Grand Bahama, some New Providence residents scrambled for shelter at the Kendall G.L. Isaacs Gymnasium after experiencing flooding in their homes. From Nassau Village to Carmichael Road to St. Helens Village, people came seeking refuge. Many people, the elderly, the women and children, cots, blankets, food, and some entertainment made their surroundings a little like home. Department of Social Services Chief Welfare Officer Andrea Newbold said the National Emergency Management Agency opened doors around 3 a.m. after receiving calls from people in need of help.
As soon as we open, the person starts filing in, trickling in. We had a total of 43 in the shelter so far. Some persons were able to go with family members, so they left. So we have a total right now of 24 persons in the shelter. And some persons, I think one person just walked in, so that might be like 25 now.
Now, according to Mrs. Newbold, the complaint is that flooding was reaching over their beds. Both Wiki Menace, along with an Enos Street resident, experienced extreme flooding.
The water was at the time waist deep, so I had no choice but to come out, and I had to call 911 to let them come and get me. The fire truck had to come and get me. When they got me and my family, which is 2 children and another adult, my brother, they had to get another family, my neighbor, and that person, they had a disabled person with them. So all of us had to go, and we came here this morning about 5 o'clock. We reached here.
I get out before it even created that much. I think I would rain again, and it kept raining again. Only God will know if the water didn't reach in the house, because it was like on that, when you build that step with concrete to come up to your door, the water was already there. So I wasn't waiting until it come in. I tried to call my friend and get out. So I believe maybe by now the water shouldn't be in, because it was done up to the step to come in.
Apart from flooding in homes, there's the major roadways causing some vehicles to stall.
You need to evacuate if you have flooding, because you're going to be dealing with waters which going to be contaminated. So you need to get out those waters because they know that's not good.
Now, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis at Sunday's press briefing said mandatory evacuation legislation's being drafted.
I am certain as I spoke, the Attorney General would have heard my voice. And if I know my Attorney General, he's sitting down at this present time drafting the legislation so the legislation can be brought in. But the Bahamian people now see the necessity. Also those who were objecting, they now see the necessity of bringing forth this legislation. And I am certain that we will have very minimal objection.
Well, in a quick response, Progressive Liberal Party leader Philip Davis said the opposition's already drafted such legislation, adding that the Prime Minister simply asked him, he would have told him so. However, there are constitutional issues that must be addressed. Mr. Davis said there was no point the Prime Minister lobbying a softball at the PLP by asking for its support, as it intends to condemn the opposition as if it's predisposed to stop the effort. He added that the Prime Minister is too clever by half. He pretends, charged Mr. Davis, to be bipartisan, but is the most partisan political figure in the country, and certainly the most partisan Prime Minister ever, with no idea of what national interest is. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.